Hello there, and welcome into a brand new installment of the Career Competitor Podcast with me, Steve Mellor, and as a member of the CG Sports Network, we are the show that seeks to light the competitive fire within you in order to jumpstart or advance your career. Now, I'm going to open up this week with a competitive call. It's going to be short and sweet this week. I'm going to keep you here for just 5 or 6 minutes, if you don't mind. And I'm going to propose a question. When do we accept we have done enough? And the emphasis here is the word accept. It's something that comes up this time of year for me as in my full-time responsibility as an LSU swim coach. I'm trying to get my athletes to accept that they've done everything that they can in order to perform at the best level that they possibly can at this time of the year. That doesn't mean they had ideal preparations, especially the last 12 months. Goodness, like nothing about the last 12 months in any career whatsoever was ideal. But if we're going to compete, if we're going to go out there, whether it be sport, whether we're going into a meeting to start our week, whether we're going into a job interview maybe, we have to accept that we've prepared to the best of our ability, even if we didn't have the best opportunity to prepare. And now you're starting to think, well, which one is it? Well, I'm going to use this podcast as an example. Believe it or not, as much as I love this podcast, it isn't my number one priority in life. I am a father, a husband. I am a full-time swim coach, as I just mentioned. I have a few other things going on in terms of just responsibilities on behalf of other people. Some days, depending on the week, this podcast falls about number 6, number 7 on my priority lists. If things are a little bit quiet, it can jump into the top 3 for a couple minutes. But in terms of just what I'm getting at here is that I want to make this podcast as big as I possibly can. But I have to accept that I have all these other priorities in life, which get in the way of maybe getting this out to as many people as I would like to. It's why my partners at CG Sports are obviously people that I love and adore and appreciate so much, is simply because they help me with those things. And that would be a perfect example of something that I'm actually accepting. I'm accepting that I'm going to need some help. I need some help if I'm ever going to optimize the potential of what this show can be. And if I make this maybe specific to a recent guest of mine, I have Mackenzie Cohen, a 3-time Paralympic gold medalist, coming on the show this Friday. She talks about how when she steps up behind the block, she has no doubt, simply because she gives 100% in her preparations. And that feeling of being able to accept that you did everything you possibly could in order to be as best prepared as possible gives her this inner strength, this inner power to perform at her optimal level. If she was busy come the games this summer thinking about all the time she lost when pools were closing down, she couldn't get to train because of COVID, etc., then she's never going to be performing in the most present, optimal mind that she possibly can. So make this about yourself right now. Think about what is it in your week that you can maybe accept that you're doing absolutely the best you possibly can, and that your performance is going to be of an optimal level by actually just accepting that you have done everything you possibly can. Go back to the first point in all of our lives when this was a very relevant thing. School, the tests, homework, like all of these things. You know that feeling of being able to accept that you've done everything that you can in your power to do as well as possible in a specific test. Now, that might not mean you're going to get an A, but you know you prepared to the best of your ability. And then you had times where you simply didn't. And you walked into a test, or you handed a homework assignment in, and you knew, holy crap, I could have done this better, I could have done that better. Why didn't I use this time better? What on earth was I thinking about going out and doing this when I should have been focusing on this assignment, focusing on preparing for this test? AKA, you were just filled with doubt. And that is, in my opinion, that is the opposite of acceptance. Because when we accept, we take control. We have full control of the moment. But when we have doubt, we're too busy in the past. We're thinking about things we could have done. We're thinking about times and opportunities when we just simply didn't use our time to the best of its ability. And I think for you listening to this right now, there has to be things within your life where you can say, hey, if I just accept that what's happened has happened, and that I'm in this moment that I'm in right now, I applied for this job, which is why I'm walking into this interview. I enrolled in this college, which is why I'm walking in to do this test. And in my situation personally, hey, I'm putting a show together and I'm putting it out there. And at this point, once it's out there, it's out there. I have to accept it's going to be received the way it's going to be received. And I also have to accept that I only have so much time in my day. I only have so many opportunities to do something with this show. And I'm also giving the opportunity to market this show to other people as well that have this complete investment in the show itself. I have to accept that that's the best I can do right now. There's no point me whining. There's no point me analyzing. There's no point me having doubt that we could be doing more. There just isn't. And for this show to actually continue and build momentum, that ability for me to accept that we are doing everything that we can is what's going to keep me motivated. It's what's going to keep pushing me. But it's also what's going to want me to go and advance my education, advance what I can actually learn in terms to take things to another level. Because I'm not just busy thinking about, oh, why aren't you doing this? Why can't you be doing that? I'm actually going, you know what? I'm really accepting what we are doing, and I'm eager to learn what else we can be doing. That mind is a delicate mindset. But if you can be in that version of acceptance, then good things can happen, and you can compete at higher levels. You can become more relevant on higher, more successful levels by simply accepting that you're doing enough, that you've put yourself in a specific situation. What's done is done, and now it's just time to go. It's time to compete. As always, these competitive calls are just me going down a rabbit hole of thought, coming out the other side of it, and just saying, hey, I wonder what people think about it. And let me know what you think. If this is a concept that sounds new to you, I'd love to hear what you think. If this is something you're very good at, I'd love for you to share your process into how it is and why it is you've been able to be so good at it. If it's something you struggle with, I'd love to hear from you as well. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to go to careercompetitor.com. You can actually connect with me directly through the website right there. And be sure to keep telling your friends all about us. Just like I said within this episode, we're trying to find new ways to always reach more and more people. So be sure to let anybody and everyone you know that maybe needs a friendly word of encouragement to jumpstart their week or jumpstart their career. This is the right place to come to for that. Okay? Best of luck with everything you've got going on. Looking forward to speaking with you all again very soon. Bye for now.